Good morning, everybody. It is 6 a.m. We have breaking news out of New London right now. Police there are investigating a shooting at 283 Broad Street.
We're told it happened shortly after 1 o'clock this morning. Police found a male victim just blocks away, and they say he was bleeding from what looked like gunshot wounds. Right now, that man is in critical condition at Yale New Haven Hospital. We're going to get you the very latest on his injuries as soon as we get an update. We are looking at live pictures right now of the scene. Again, this is just breaking at about 1 o'clock in this morning. We're working all angles of this story, Tim, to get you more. But again, what we know so far, we've got it for you.
Yeah, and we'll get you an update as soon as we get it. In the meantime, good morning, everybody. She's Erica Arias. I'm Tim Lammers. Let's get right over to Joe Fury now for a bit of good news. Unless you really love the deep freeze. Well, we got a Fox follow-up for you this morning on a woke-up man who's been missing since early January. Police have been actively investigating this case ever since 23-year-old Scott Basil disappeared, and today they're expected to provide more information. And
Fox 61 Sean Brigano is live in Woolkit with the very latest. Sean, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Woolkit Police Chief Edward Stevens has scheduled a press conference for later this morning at 11:30. At that time, Fox 61 News.
Sean, thanks. Well, an update now to a story we brought you earlier this morning. Police in Bloomfield say they have located a mother and daughter who have been missing since January. So good news here.
Yes, 28-year-old Enia Florent and 4-year-old Mia Mullings were last seen back on January 16th. Now, no word on exactly how they're doing right now, but of course we'll bring you that information as soon as we get it. Happening today, the teenager accused of killing his mother back in 2014 is expected to appear in court today. According to the Republican American, a sentencing is expected as well. And Nicholas Holm is accused of strangling his 49-year-old mother, Wendy. Police said he confessed to doing it during an argument about whether or not he should go to drug rehab. He's looking at up to 45 years in prison. The plea was not guilty from a man accused of stealing bones from a cemetery in Massachusetts. Police said they found human skulls, dead chickens, and blood inside Felix Delgado Jr.'s home in Bridgeport. Officers said that Delgado told them he was a Santeria priest. He's now being held on $100,000 bail, and he's due in court back in March.
Well, happening tonight in East Hampton, folks are expected to gather for a community discussion on the opioid crisis here in our state. It's starting at 6:30 tonight at the East Hampton Middle School Library. That's on Child Road. Among the speakers expected include medical experts and the State Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services Commissioner. The discussion is free, and anyone can attend. And also happening today, we're expected to learn more about CT Fast Track's plan to expand east. The Hartford Current is reporting that the DOT is interested in having service in East Hartford and Manchester, and possibly running buses into Tallinn, Vernon, and South Windsor. Today, the DOT is going to meet with community leaders to talk about its tentative plan. That's happening at Manchester Town Hall. Still no official word on a route to UConn's Storrs campus, though. Another roadblock could be on the horizon for the tribes looking to build a new casino here in central Connecticut.
Fox 61's Amanda Rouse joins us from Studio B to explain. Good morning.
Good morning, Tim and Erica. This just came up yesterday when a Fairfield County representative brought up a concept for a new bill that could slow things down. The Hartford Current reports the bill would ask for a study to look at other sites for a new casino, particularly in the southwestern part of the state, not just the Hartford area where the tribes are looking now. It would also want to look at where a casino would add the most jobs and revenue. The study would delay Connecticut's two tribes from opening up a new casino site that they wanted in the Hartford area to compete with the MGM casino opening in Springfield. Well, some lawmakers support the study, while others say it would be a waste of time and resources. Now, the entire issue continues to become even more difficult because of a lawsuit from MGM. MGM says that the 2015 authorization for tribes to pick a site was unconstitutional because it prevented other companies like MGM from having a hand in the process. Now, this bill is still in the very early stages. In fact, the details haven't even been drafted yet, although it is expected to come up for a public hearing next month. Tim and Erica.
I think he was very much misinterpreted, and I also think he was given false information.
Well, coming up this morning, Donald Trump gives his take on the Pope's comments saying that Trump's views aren't Christian.
And Hillary Clinton is one of the latest to give her take on the dilemma between Apple and the FBI. We'll tell you what she says about it. 6:11 now Friday morning, and we're continuing to stay on top of breaking news out of New London for you. A man is in critical condition right now after a shooting at 283 Broad Street.
And we're told it happened shortly after 1 o'clock. Police did find a man blocks away. Yeah, you're taking a live look, by the way, at the scene. They said that man who was found blocks away was bleeding from what looked to be gunshot wounds. And again, he is in critical condition right now. We are expecting to have an update hopefully in the next maybe hour or so, but of course we'll get you the latest on his injuries as soon as we get those details. On the race to the White House, 3 more Republican presidential candidates promoted themselves to South Carolina voters Thursday night at a second CNN town hall.
Ohio Governor John Kasich, former Florida Governor Jeb Bush, and Donald Trump all took questions from voters in Columbia. All 3 discussed a number of issues, with Kasich and Bush even adding a little humor to the night. Take a listen.
All Out Boy is one of them, you know. I like Lincoln Park and 21 Pilots, you know, Stressed Out.
Your brother paints now? What do you do?
Yeah, that's really weird.
Good stuff, right?
Yes.
Well, wouldn't you know, Donald Trump weighed in on his new war of words with the leader of the Catholic Church. During his trip back from Mexico, Pope Francis said that anyone who thinks only about building walls and not building bridges isn't Christian. Anderson Cooper asked if Trump wanted to clear things up with the Pope.
Would you like to meet with him and talk to him about it?
I'll do it anytime he wants. I mean, I think it would be very interesting. No, I like him. I mean, I like him as a personality. I like what he represents, and I certainly have great respect for the position.
The state's Republican primaries are tomorrow night.
Also last night, Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders participated in a town hall style event in Las Vegas. He was asked about a federal judge's order that Apple helped the FBI unlock an iPhone that belonged to one of the 2 terrorists who carried out the massacre in San Bernardino. Apple CEO Tim Cook has called that judge's order chilling.
I think there is a middle ground that can be reached. Clearly, all of us would be very dismayed if we learned that we could have picked up information about a potential terrorist act and we didn't do that. People would not feel good about this policy.
And Nevada's Democratic caucus will also be held tomorrow. Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton says the country is in a legitimate dilemma when it comes to the question of hacking or not hacking that one particular iPhone. She says she understands both sides of the issue and thinks also, like Sanders, that everyone should find a common ground. And you know what? Sometimes people use the word dilemma interchangeably with just problem.
Followed by that next storm system, the middle of next week, Erica.
All right, Joe, thanks so much. Coming up next for you here on Good Day Connecticut, McDonald's is introducing a new breakfast item, but it's not available everywhere, unfortunately. We'll tell you where you can find it.
This morning, as opposed to any other morning,
Right.
we're talking about food, specifically a new menu item that could be coming to a McDonald's near you someday.
Yeah, but there is a catch. Whether or not we get it all depends on whether or not the people in Ohio like it first. Maggie's Liz is here to explain.
Yum.
All right, thank you so much, Maggie.
And we're starving.
Now we're starving. It's lunchtime for us. Coming up in the next half hour here on Good Day Connecticut, the controversy continues. Residents have been speaking out against a new water bottling plant that is set to come to Bloomfield. We'll have the latest on that for you.
Well, check out that sunset sunrise. Pretty good. Right?
We're doing all right.
Yeah, no complaints for today as we check out the view from our city cam. Checking out our capital city. It is Friday. Everyone's usually happy about that. At 6:30, we're glad you're with us here for a Good Day Connecticut. Checking out Manfred Mann's Earth Band.
Yeah, Blinded by the Light was #1 today in 1977, although it was originally written and performed by Bruce Springsteen. Who,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they changed the lyrics there. I think it was cut loose like a deuce in the Springsteen song, and then they wrapped up like a deuce. I don't know why you'd bother with that unless there's something that I'm missing.
I wonder the reason why.
Yeah, was there some sort of terminology that probably, like some inference that I should not have just said on TV that I'm missing because I'm clueless? I don't know.
And
okay, I think
the calls are coming in.
Yes, right. It's happened before. But look, that's the skyline there. It's so bright now.
I know.
And that's why it works because,
We've really seen the difference
ago,
as far as the time.
We're finally starting to get some light out there, Joe Fury, and that's eventually some warmer temperatures are gonna come. But I know that's
it's a lot warmer this weekend than last weekend. All right, Rach, thanks. We're getting you back to that breaking news that we're staying on top of for you out of New London, where one man is in critical condition right now after a shooting at 283 Broad Street, and we're checking out live pictures from the scene right now.
Yeah, we're told the shooting happened shortly after 1 o'clock this morning. Police said they found a man blocks away from there, though, and they said he was bleeding from what looked to be gunshot wounds. Again, he is in critical condition at the hospital. We'll give you the latest on his injuries, the nature of them, and an update on how he's doing as soon as those come into the newsroom. We have a Fox follow-up right now on a Wolcott man who's been missing since early January. Police have been actively investigating this case ever since 23-year-old Scott Basil disappeared, and today they're expected to provide information on their investigation.
Fox 61 Sean Pagano is in Wolcott now with the latest.
Sean Pagano, Fox 61 News.
Sean, thanks. 6:35 now. We're following developing news for you out of Ansonia. That's where police are investigating after a pedestrian was hit by a vehicle.
Yeah, officers said it happened near 36 North 4th Street. Still no word yet on how badly that person has been hurt, but we will bring you the information as we get it. Moving on, Governor Malloy said the state of Connecticut has effectively ended homelessness amongst military veterans. This designation means the state has the proper systems in place to provide housing to vets who are without homes, and we are only the second state in the nation to get this recognition, the other being Virginia.
We have continuing coverage now into a proposed water bottling facility in Bloomfield. Residents opposed to a plan held a meeting of their own last night. More than 200 people showed up. Many of them say that they're against the planned Niagara bottling plant. They're concerned about the possible environmental harm and impact on the water supply. And they claim they did not get to voice their opinions before the town went and passed a tax abatement plan. They plan to continue their fight.
We've had a number of people get involved, a number of towns have become involved because it's become more than a Bloomfield issue.
Bloomfield's town manager says Niagara has officially purchased the land on Woodland Avenue and that the company can begin construction. Town officials have stated that they can't reverse their decision on the tax abatement plan because it would open them up to lawsuits.
Well, New York City police are searching for suspects this morning after 2 knife attacks in 2 days. The latest happened outside a clothing store Thursday after a victim refused to give an attacker a shopping bag.
And this is just the latest in a rash of knife attacks across the country, or at the city rather. Nicole Johnson from our sister station, Pix 11 New York, reports. Authorities haven't released the identity of the victim in yesterday's attack, and so far, no arrests have been made.
Well, Pope Francis has indicated that contraceptives may be used to prevent the spread of the Zika virus. This is despite the church's long-standing ban on most forms of birth control. The Pope was on a flight from Mexico to Rome yesterday when he was asked about women aborting fetuses that have been infected with Zika. Of course, that virus has been linked to an incurable and often devastating neurological birth defect.
Avoiding pregnancy is not an absolute evil. In certain cases, as in this one, such as the one I mentioned of Blessed Paul VI, it was clear. I would also urge doctors to do their utmost to find vaccines against these mosquitoes that carry this disease. This needs to be worked on.
And keep in mind, while there's a link here, proving it is very difficult, and it's still not entirely clear what the chances are that a pregnant woman who then contracts the Zika virus will wind up having a baby with any sort of developmental delays. Well, coming up next on Good Day Connecticut here on Fox 61, police in Oregon are still trying to find whoever was driving a car that crashed into a river.
A tourist helicopter crashes into Pearl Harbor. I'm Patricia Stark in New York. We'll show you the incredible up-close video of the crash coming up.
An investigation is now underway into a tourism helicopter crash in Pearl Harbor that left 5 people injured.
Yeah, some video was caught of the incident. It saw witnesses rushing to try to rescue the victims. Fox News correspondent Patricia Stark has more on that from New York.
We're heading to Portland, Oregon now, where rescue crews there find a car that crashed into the Columbia River. And this was the scene yesterday afternoon as divers searched for the vehicle in deep water. Eyewitnesses couldn't confirm whether the diver was alone or if any passengers were also there in the vehicle. The fire department spokesperson says a Good Samaritan tried to dive in and tried to rescue the person but was unable to help. The vehicle ended up submerged under 25 feet underwater. The rescue effort was declared a recovery about an hour after the crash. So far, no one has been able to locate any of the victims.
Well, it is 6:46. Let's get over to Rachel Lutzker and see how your ride into work is going to be this Friday. Hopefully no problem so far.
Well, we've had a problem straight from the
Already?
start. Yeah.
All right, Joe, coming up next for everyone here on Good Day Connecticut. 007's car was up on the auction block. We're going to share with you just how much it went for. Of course, it's going to be jaw-dropping.
And then coming up in the 7 o'clock hour, if you're looking forward to getting this very unique bagel in the Big Apple that we told you about a while back, sorry.
Uh-oh. Think again. The Harlem Globetrotters taking their basketball tricks to new heights. Check this out. Team members Hawk Thomas, Moose Weeks, and Cheese Chisholm impressed the crowd.
Yeah.
Wow, with some superb trick shots from the rooftop of the Madison Square Garden back in December. Trick shots were all part of the team's 90-year celebration. 90 years, and then they twerk.
It's just twerking too. Wow, it's amazing how often they can do that. Their success rate on those long shots is better than you think it is. I don't know how good it is, but it's better than you think.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, one fan is now closer than ever to traveling like the world's most famous spy.
Yeah, a charity auction of items from the movie Spectre included Agent 007's latest sports car, one of the 10 Aston Martin DB10s specifically built for the film. It sold Thursday for $3.5 million. Imagine all the dry martinis you could buy with that money. The cars were created without any safety features or certifications that are required to be considered street legal. Aston Martin said it does run with a top speed of about 190 miles per hour. At that speed, if you crash, safety features aren't going to help anyway. The new owner had to agree to a contract specifically banning any modifications that would approve it for use on the road. So it's essentially just a collector's item. Pretty?
Well, sure. And a pretty steep price tag, too.
If that's what you want, that's what you get.
Yes.
All right. Well, coming up on Good Day Connecticut at 7 o'clock, police are expected to give an update today on a weeks-old missing persons case in Wolcott.
Plus, we're going to share what lawmaker is suggesting when it comes to building a third casino in our state in central Connecticut. How long this could prolong the process.
Oh, cut loose like a deuce, another runner in the night. Blinded by the light. She got down, but she never got tight, but she'll make it all right. Some brimstone, baritone, and a cyclone rolling stone.